It's time for another reality check. And counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is everybody ready? Put on your tinfoil hats. Press the like and subscribe buttons. Tune in and let's go! What's going on, guys? Reality check, truth unveiled, coming back at you with another one. And this particular one here is a huge case. It has turned into an absolute crap show. I mean, God, what a disgusting mess. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This one has had me so livid and so pissed because of how corrupt the justice system is. I mean, the absolute corruption of the legal system, it's disgusting. It literally makes my stomach churn. I mean, I'm gonna keep that one 100%. You know, the justice system is so twisted and so corrupt, man. And this reckless bin situation with bricks and minifigs it's beyond just Legos, guys. This is far beyond Legos. This whole thing shows us how absolutely corrupt the justice system really and truly is. How corrupt so many of these police officers out here working the streets actually are. It just really confronts all of this corruption. Now, there are a lot of streamers. I mean, this is so big on the internet. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you listening to this, you're already aware of the reckless bin situation. So I'm not going to have to spend, I don't believe, a whole lot of time. I'm not going to go through these videos in their entirety. We're just going to do a quick scan through. I've been keeping track of this, so this is not a fresh or new reaction. I can't call it a raw reaction per se. I've already listened to these videos. I've already been through it. I've been following this case now. I've been on edge about. I've wanted to cover this now for a week, but trying to figure out how I want to cover this, because I'll be honest, I am so dumbfounded by this, by what has progressed and taken place here, that I just almost don't even have words to speak on this. I mean, it's so profound. I'm like, what the crap? The corruption is so in your face on every single level. On every single level, the corruption is so in your face. I mean, it's just unreal, man. So, we've got a lot to go over, even just to skim through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over Reckless Bin's video of my response to the police, because after this whole incident went down and Reckless Bin released his first video, the American Fork Police Department released a response. And for those of you who just have not if you've been living under a rock, or maybe you've seen or heard briefly some of the situation, but you just haven't gotten into all of it. You haven't really looked into it all or had a chance to listen to everything. The American Fork Police Department just straight up lied, and you're gonna see. I mean, the corruption runs so deep, even into the courts, guys. The corruption it wasn't just bricks and minifigs. It wasn't even just the police, the police force that was conspiring with bricks and minifigs, but it's the whole justice system that is also corrupt. They are all conspiring out against Reckless Ben. Everyone, all of them, they're all conspiring against Reckless Ben, and it's absolutely disgusting. But it does show us just how corrupt the system truly is. So, like I said just a minute ago, this goes way beyond just Legos alone. This is so far beyond Legos, guys. This runs so deep. So let's listen to this video here. If you guys have not heard it, you can go to Reckless Ben's actual legitimate page and subscribe to him and listen to him. He also has a Patreon. Go check out his Patreon. And so anyway, let's get into this thing. Let's listen to his response to the police department. And as he's responding, we will try to switch back and forth between his response, the police's response, and his original video that was released, and what actually was recorded on video and what actually went down. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Let's do it.
The American Fork Police Department has responded to the video I made about them.
I am the Chief of Police for the American Fork Police Department. I'd like to address the members of our American Fork and Cedar Hills community regarding some videos currently circulating on social media.
So now I will offer a response to their response. There's a lot of new information in this response that I've been wanting to get for a long time, so we'll go over that first. One of the main questions in my video was, why did I get swatted for stealing the Legos when this wasn't a mystery to the police officers and they knew that I didn't steal the Legos?
Exactly. Again, the corruption, man, is so deep. Why did they swat him? Okay, let's say Reckless Ben had stolen the Legos. Guys, think about it. Is stolen Legos really an excuse to swat someone? Come on, dude. You're going to come in guns blazing. Well, I mean, no, okay, maybe they weren't blazing. They didn't fire any shots, okay? But they went in with their armed, loaded, and pointing firearms at Reckless Ben and his team over stolen Legos. Now, of course, Reckless Ben didn't steal any Legos. He was trying to expose the ones who did. The bricks and minifigs, this absolutely disgusting and corrupt corporation. But instead of going after bricks and minifigs, the police went. These disgusting, law-abusing officers went into Reckless Ben's home and swatted him. They went after the one who's trying to expose the corruption. You can't make this stuff up, man.
That Josh stole the Legos.
He basically stole a $200,000 collection of Star Wars Legos.
But still, why did they raid my house for stealing the Legos when there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that Josh stole the Legos?
Absolutely. If you go back and watch Reckless Ben's first video, you can see. And here's the funny part. Reckless Ben documented and recorded everything throughout this entire situation. So there's documented video evidence throughout for every scenario, throughout the entire situation. Bricks and minifigs have no evidence to back anything that they're saying up. They have zero. And yet the justice system is defending them? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, it makes me so mad, guys. I'm telling you, this case, I think, has had me more livid and more pissed off than just about any other case I've ever followed. I mean, this case has had me absolutely livid.
When I requested the body cam footage of this to try to find the answers myself, they redacted everything, and they claimed it was to protect the victims. However, one of my friends set up a GoPro as we were
To protect the victims. Oh, it was to protect the victims. Brian Menzel was the victim. Oh my God, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Oh, it makes me want to scream. Brian Menzel's Legos was stolen by Bricks and Minifigs, by this corporation. The corporation is not the freaking victims. Brian Menzel was the freaking victim. It makes me want to scream, man. God, you see how pissed off it gets me. It's like, dude. Ugh.
Getting swatted, and we caught the entire conversation on camera.
And now Reckless Ben has become a victim to these evil demons.
In the warrant are Legos.
For 3 months, the police department's answer has been, this redaction is important because it protects Josh, the victim of this case.
But Josh wasn't the freaking victim, you lying pieces of garbage. Josh wasn't the victim. Brian Menzel was the victim. His dad, his dying dad, was the freaking victim.
However, we can clearly see that the police are looking for Legos and they saw no Legos. And they redacted this because they were embarrassed that they made such a stupid decision to swat the wrong person. They were so embarrassed of swatting my house for stealing the Legos that in all of the police reports, it is completely redacted. The police department wants this information hidden so bad that they're willing to break the law to hide this from everyone. The only reason I know about it is because of the receipt I got the night I was released from jail and my friend's GoPro that was recording. So even though I've been asking them for 3 months why I got swatted, they finally came up with an answer, which is the Airbnb host told them that I stole the Legos.
During contact with
The Airbnb host told them that he stole the Legos. That's not how Airbnb works, guys. If Airbnb worked like that, they would lose their business. If Airbnb spent their time spying out all of their tenants who were renting their Airbnb rental properties or rental houses, they would not have any money. They would go out of business because nobody would tolerate that crap. What a load of BS.
with the Airbnb owner, the owner reported overhearing conversations about possible stolen Legos.
Okay, here's my question. Where is this Airbnb host? Where's this Airbnb host? Why don't you bring this Airbnb host up and let this Airbnb host give a public explanation of their accusations?
Specifically, officers wrote in the search warrant affidavit, the homeowner also disclosed that he could hear multiple individuals inside the residence speaking about possibly stolen Lego toys they had taken. Based on that information, officers added a request within the search warrant affidavit seeking authorization to also search for and seize possible stolen property, including Lego merchandise. 4th District Judge Roger W. Griffin reviewed and approved the search warrant.
I always like giving people
The 4th District Judge approved the search warrant with no evidence. Come on, are you going to tell me that this isn't corrupt to the absolute core? How is a judge going to give a search warrant with no probable evidence of anything? This is so corrupt. The whole system. This is one of those cases where we need to get Kash Patel involved. We need the Department of Justice needs to get involved. We need the FBI. We need the Department of Justice. We need some higher authority to go into this area and straighten this mess out, because this is absolutely egregious.
People the benefit of the doubt, and I will take the police officer's word on this, but something fishy is going on here, and everything can just be cleared up if you unredact the audio.
And you know, let's go back and let's take a look here, because this is how it went down. We're going to see how it went down. For those of you who have not somehow missed out and didn't keep up with this or haven't seen these videos, this is what happened when they swatted him.
Don't move.
This is the story of how the court and
let's fast forward to where they actually got swatted. Well, we're going to fast forward to the actual swatting. Okay. Let's see where we at here. Where's it at? I'm trying to find it. Okay, we'll just let it play. Sorry, guys. Let's just
Search warrant. Stand up. Step outside, everybody. No, don't move.
this is the story of how I got swatted, all because of Legos. The whole thing started with me investigating a Lego company called Bricks and Minifigs. The company sent 2 guys to steal the world's largest Star Wars Lego collection worth around $200,000. And for some reason, the police are helping them get away with it.
Yep.
Figs. And the reason I think that is we were actually just there right before this.
Okay, pulling up to Bricks and Minifigs.
Okay, we're gonna,
You said you ran a
we're gonna
stop
keep
sign?
fast-forwarding it.
Yeah, I was like,
Because we definitely stopped at the stop
we
sign.
stopped.
Yeah.
I was so sure that we stopped. Didn't understand was how the heck did they know we were coming to the door so he could steal all their Legos? I tried really trying to protect these criminals. But my court case with Josh is
And I guess me and Tyler are staying back because we're already trespassed. So
yeah, we ended up just driving home, but on our way back, this happened.
what? Pull over
Okay,
again?
here we go. I think I found the portion
For what?
part where they got swatted. I think it's right
person.
Anyways, the cops probably felt pretty stupid when they searched our entire house and didn't find any stolen.
here. Okay, let's go back here a little bit. Okay.
Worst ending for this video, but I had no clue that it was about to get way
Here we go.
worse.
Yeah, this is it. Watch this, guys. Watch this.
American Park Police Department, make yourself known.
Search warrant. Stand up.
Look at them coming in with guns out.
Step outside, everybody. Come on. No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that. Okay?
Yeah, this cop pulled my arm so far back it dislocated my shoulder. He claims it's because I was attempting to make an escape
And
or
by the
something.
way, guys,
Don't move like
anybody
that.
with any understanding knows that that's a stock photo. That was not his actual. That was not an actual X-ray of Ben's shoulder. Ben got thrown in jail. He never made it to the hospital. He put up a stock photo to give you an idea of what a dislocated shoulder looks like, and you're gonna see how absolutely twisted and idiotic these freaking police are here in just a bit.
You understand me? Don't move like that. Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
But if we go back a little bit, you can see I was being completely still when he grabbed me, and I actually made 0 quick movements. So this police officer is just straight up lying so he can give me a serious injury.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
Yes, the police department got an official warrant to search our house for stolen Legos. I should have seen this coming. Josh did threaten me in the last video that if I go out and actually try to sue him, he's gonna come out and say that I'm the one that stole the Legos.
Okay, let's do it.
Fuck you, man. You stole them, bitch.
I stole the Legos?
Yeah, you're a fucking thief.
Dang.
Okay?
Okay.
Or you can shut the fuck up. That's your fucking choice.
I'm gonna fast
Yeah, that really sounds Christian and Mormon-like, doesn't it?
forward a little bit just to give you guys some
Just saying.
context, but I actually got a copy of this warrant.
The reason they were searching our house
was it says there is now certain property or evidence described as any stolen merchandise, specifically Lego merchandise. It's evidence of illegal conduct on us that we stole the Legos.
Evidence. But there was no evidence. See how they lie? Absolute liars. There was no evidence. There's evidence that Joshua Johnson and Brendan Best stole the Legos. There's video evidence of them. They're on video. And yet, the justice system twisted it around and put out a warrant against Reckless Ben, claiming that there was evidence that he stole the Legos when there was absolutely, when he's the one exposing the theft. They see this corrupt system, man.
And let everyone see the truth. Also, after we got raided and the police officers found no Legos, all of this footage has been redacted too. And my guess is if the police unredact this footage, we will find out the answers once and for all. While we were getting swatted, one of the police officers decided to injure me for absolutely no reason. He claims it's because I was trying to make a fast movement.
Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that. Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
But when we replay the footage, you can clearly see I was not making any fast movements. However, the police department has an answer to this.
During Snyder's detention, Lieutenant Adamson took hold of Snyder's right arm. Lieutenant Adamson later reported that he felt Snyder tense his arm, at which point Adamson moved Snyder's right arm behind his back to place him into custody.
The police department has made it clear I did not, in fact, make any quick movements like the police officer claims I did. So the police officer was lying, but not fully, because I did tense my arm. However, he lunges at me extremely fast before he even touches me. So how could he even know that I was tensing my arm before he even grabs me? That doesn't make any sense. There's only one solution. This police officer has psychic powers, and he could tell that my arm was tensing up before grabbing me. However, this makes no sense, because if the police officer did truly have psychic powers, he would have known that we were not the thieves, Josh and Brandon were the thieves. So this can't be the case either. I'm trying to have an open mind with these different possibilities of what this could be, but literally the only outcome left is that this police officer injured me for no reason. However, the police have another response to this of why I must be lying.
In the x-ray image displayed by Mr. Snyder in
Yeah, here's the idiot response from this police department. In the x-ray image, it's a freaking stock image, you dummy. You guys took him to jail. How the heck is he going to have an x-ray image, a real legitimate x-ray image, when he was in jail?
that video, a small L is visible in the upper right-hand corner of the x-ray. The L indicates the image is that of the left shoulder. The video shows Lieutenant Adamson handling Snyder's right arm during the arrest.
Yes, the stock footage I used to show what a dislocated shoulder is, an image that's clearly not mine because I didn't go to the hospital, I went to jail, so how could I have taken this picture? But anyways, the stock image I used is of a left shoulder when my shoulder that got injured was my right shoulder. When I was editing this, I like to think highly of my audience that they would have known that this was a stock image and I wouldn't have to spoon feed every tiny detail to my audience. But now I realize that there's another...
Anyway, so we're getting the point here. Like I said, we're just going to be briefing through all of this stuff, okay? We're just going to brief through everything here. So he got swatted. They got arrested. Shortening it up, he had to take off to Mexico because they put out a warrant. They put these evil, corrupt bastards to put out a warrant against him to have him arrested with no bond, no bail. All because he exposed the corruption. All because he exposed the corruption. You know, it reminds me of Edward Snowden, who exposed corruption and the justice system went after him. It reminds me of Julian Assange, who exposed corruption and the justice system went after him. I mean, how many times do we have to see the same scenarios playing out before we say enough's enough and we completely wipe out the justice system and rebuild it from the ground up? The entire justice system is corrupt to the core. Now, when I say this, I'm not stating that every single employee that works in the justice system is corrupt. That's not what I'm implying or stating. But what I am saying is the justice system as a whole is absolutely corrupt. I mean, starting from the street police, the street cops, all the way to the lawmakers, to the justices and judges. The whole system is one massive corrupt, tyrannical system. Period. I mean, that's it. And this exposes it. This exposes how corrupt. So this is why I'm saying that the whole reckless spin case here and this whole situation is beyond Legos. It is pulling the veil off of just how corrupt the system truly is. Now, I know that our current administration is really working hard to clean some of this up. But man, it can't get done fast enough. Let me tell you, we cannot get this done fast enough. Now, the body cam footage was released. So if you haven't seen the body cam footage, now you're going to see exactly how extremely lunatic Joshua Johnson is. Watch this.
His name is Ben Schneider. He's stalking my house. Will you come to my house, please, and come get them? I'm not going to have stalkers.
Are they there right now?
They're on the side of the house.
He's stalking my house. They're there at this point to serve papers. Serve legal papers for Joshua Johnson to go to court because of the lawsuit that was filed against them. And he calls the police, lying to the cops and telling the cops that they are stalking him.
One of the dispatchers made a note here saying that you were going to shoot someone.
I'm done with this. Officer, can you please help me and my family?
He told the dispatcher that he was going to shoot someone. That he was going to shoot the next one of them that came up onto his property. Well, why did the officers again go after Reckless Ben and his team? Why did they not go after Joshua Johnson? He threatened to murder them for serving legal court papers. Now, okay, let me say this. I am a full believer. I'm a full believer in Second Amendment rights. And if someone comes onto my property threatening my family, I believe that I should absolutely have the right to defend my family if there is a legitimate threat to myself or my family. But that is not the case in this situation. Reckless Ben and his team are not threatening Joshua Johnson. They are trying to serve legal papers from a court to Joshua Johnson. So there is no excuse, zero excuse for these officers to be doing what they're doing to Reckless Ben. They should be investigating this and going after Joshua Johnson. But no, it's all corrupt.
I'm going to make her stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
She had a consignment deal with a guy named Brian Mansell. A year and a half, almost 2 years, she had this consignment deal with him and she never paid him.
So right away, Josh is lying to the
He's
police,
absolutely
which
lying.
we can easily verify with all of the metadata timestamped pictures that show that the Lego sets were in the store when Josh took it over.
He's hired this YouTuber. His name is Ben Schneider. He's Reckless Ben. They sent people in saying they're going to murder our manager. I'm done.
What are you guys doing here?
And see, there's that lie. Oh, he sent people in to saying that they were going to murder our manager. Mr. Johnson, where's your evidence for that? Do you have evidence for that? Because Reckless Ben has the video footage and evidence for everything he done. So if he went in at any point or sent anyone in without cameras to threaten to murder anyone, where's the evidence? You see, Reckless Ben has evidence to back up what he's saying. Joshua Johnson does not. He's just making claims. So again, why are the police backing up and defending Joshua Johnson when all the evidence is against Joshua Johnson, not Reckless? And Reckless Ben has complete evidence backing up his story.
We are in a court case with them, and we have to serve them legal papers.
She is a process server, and she's trying to serve you papers.
She's not a process server.
Okay.
She is. In the state of Utah, all you have to have is for a process server is someone who is not directly affiliated with the pursuant. And she was not directly affiliated with Reckless Ben. Reckless Ben did not know her. Reckless Ben hired her to serve the papers. And so she was legal to serve those papers in the state of Utah. She had a legal right to do it.
Get the papers. They're fake papers. They're fake. Go get the papers.
Okay. You okay if I bring those over to you?
At least from my understanding of the Utah law. In fact, you know what? Here, let's do this. Let's look it up real quick. Let's look this up real quick, guys. Just real quick. One moment. Let's look this up real quick. We're going to find out. Okay. Now, according to Leo here, what Leo is pulling up. In Utah, look at this. You can see this right here. Okay. In Utah, court papers may be served by sheriffs, constables, their deputies, and United States Marshals. Additionally, any person who is at least 18 years old and not a party to the action or an attorney for a party is legally permitted to serve process. However, specific individuals are prohibited from serving papers in certain contexts. Parties to the case and their attorneys cannot serve their own case. Individuals convicted of felony sex offenses or those who are respondents in protective order proceedings are barred from serving process. While some sources note a general prohibition on felons, the most specific statutory bars apply to felon sex offenses and protective order respondents. Service can be performed via personal delivery or, in some cases, mail requiring a signed receipt, provided the server is eligible and the method complies with Utah Rules of Civil Procedure 4. So as you can see, according to Leo and what Leo pulled up here from its resources, okay, any person who is at least 18 years of age and not a party to the action or an attorney for a party to a legally permitted to serve process. So this girl, this woman whom Reckless Ben brought out to serve the papers was absolutely and perfectly legal to serve those papers. Again, another lie.
Absolutely. They're fake.
You got the picture of those
They're
papers?
fake.
Yeah.
It's an absolute lie. They are not fake. And the police even called in and confirmed that the papers were real.
Yeah. So this is what you're trying to serve
The
them with?
officers themselves
Yes.
called the court
I wish we could send them an email. I wish we could just send them a phone
and
call.
confirmed that they were
or the
real
court could
papers.
just send it to them, but this is what we're required to do from the United States court. So we're just following the instructions of the government. He thinks if I just call the cops on me, he can get away with it, but we're showing him, like, we're not going to let him get away with his crime, so.
Okay.
You okay if I give these papers to him?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hang tight. Are you...
Okay. Now the officer asked, "Are you okay if I give these papers to him?" At this point, that's what the officer should be doing. Those are legal, legitimate court papers, and they should have been served to him. But watch what this cop does.
Okay if she just gives you the papers so we can just get
Have
her?
you looked at the papers? I've talked to the Kaiser Police Department. There's nothing filed. So no, I'm not accepting service from him.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It's fake.
Okay.
It's not real.
That's completely fine. That's...
If it was fake, what's the problem with accepting it? If it was really fake, stop and think about it. If these officers had any brains, well, maybe they do. I'm under the impression that they knew exactly what was really going on, but yet they chose the side of evil to defend evil. Period. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They had to have. If they didn't, this is the absolute most gross. This is of complete incompetence. The most gross incompetence I've ever seen of any cops, of any police force, because even if the papers were fake, for Joshua Johnson to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to have them serve me those papers because they're fake." If Joshua Johnson really thought those papers were fake, he wouldn't have been worried at all because they're fake. Sure, serve me the papers and let them serve me the papers and they can go on their way. I know the papers are fake, so bring the papers over to me. I'll receive the papers. And they can go on their way and tell them to leave me alone and don't come back. But he knew he was lying through his teeth. He knew these were real, legitimate court papers, and he was refusing to accept them so that he can later on say, "I was never served." You see how this game is played?
You have that right?
Yeah.
Literally, all this police officer has to do is be like, "You are served."
That's
then
it.
He doesn't even have to accept
That's
them.
all
He
he
can
had to
literally just
do.
drop them. But as long as you say "you are served," that counts as a legal serving.
That's all he had to do. The officer could have just said, "Listen, I am obligated by law to hand you these papers. So I've got to give them to you. Once I hand them to you, you can do whatever you want to with them. Rip them up, throw them in the garbage. That's between you and the courts. And then we'll handle this situation later. But I am obligated to give them to you." But nope, what does this officer do?
So why doesn't this cop just do that? Like, this whole thing could be solved in literally 3 seconds. Like, here, I'll time it. You've been served. Yeah, like literally 1.5 seconds, and this could be solved. This could literally be solved in 1.5 seconds. And this police officer is just purposely choosing to make this way more complicated than it has to be.
Hold on.
All right. What are you wanting done today? Besides, obviously, talk to...
As much as you should.
What are you wanting done today? The officer, this cop, asks Joshua Johnson what he wants done today. As if he's taking orders from Joshua Johnson. As if Joshua Johnson was his boss. What the crap, dude? I mean, what kind of policing is this? And as I was listening to this and I was watching this footage, it brought back memories of how I've been treated by the justice system myself. the mess that I've gone through. I remember I was like, what was I? I was like 20 years old, I think, or something. Or 21. I think I was like 20. Anyway, I remember I was a young adult, very young adult. I had gotten my first apartment. I went to a rental company. And I'm not gonna mention the rental company because I don't want to get in trouble by mentioning their name, but it was a type of rent to own type company. It was like, you have Aaron's, you have Rentway, you have Rent-A-Center, you have all these different rent to own companies. They don't do credit checks. It's just kind of a, you give your job history and they rent to own. You can rent to own furniture and different properties from them until you pay it off. And so I purchased a full media center. I mean, I had 4 15-inch woofers, I had 4 15-inch woofers, a amplifier receiver, and I had a big screen television for that time. We didn't have flat screens back then, but anyway, and then a full media center setup. It was about $3,000 worth of equipment, and as I said in my other videos, I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the ghettos. And so, unfortunately, while I was working, someone broke into my house and stole my equipment. $3,000 worth of merchandise. Well, I was paying the rental company extra for theft protection. I was literally paying them extra just to cover theft protection. Okay, I come home, my merchandise is $3,000 worth of merchandise completely gone, stolen. Someone broke in and stole my stuff. All right. And then, so I file a police report. Police come out. They take my information. They take down, I show them the receipts from my equipment that I was paying for. And I get their police report. I go to the rental company. And I informed the rental company that someone broke into my house and stole the merchandise. Here's the police report, and I wanted to get the merchandise replaced. Well, instead of replacing the merchandise, guess what they done? They took me to court. And this was the strangest court hearing I'd ever seen in my life. To this day, I've never seen anything like this. They take me to court. They accuse me of stealing the merchandise. They accuse me of stealing the merchandise. Right? And I'm called into a private room with the rental company's attorneys and the judge. And that was it. I was not allowed to have a hearing. I was not allowed to stand before any of my peers, right? I wasn't allowed any of that. Okay? I wasn't even allowed to speak. I walked into that room, into this private room with this judge and these attorneys. And the judge looked at the attorneys and asked the attorneys, "What do you want me to do with him? Do you want your money back or do you want him arrested?" I was completely dumbfounded. I wanted to explain to the judge. I attempted to explain to the judge my position. And and what happened, I had my police report and everything, and the judge silenced me and would not even allow me to speak. Completely silenced me and put my fate in the hands of these attorneys. And instead accused me of stealing my own stuff. So instead of the rental company replacing the merchandise that was stolen, even after I was paying extra, the attorneys, the judge was giving them the option to make me pay back pay it all, continue to pay it all back, or to have me arrested. I mean, this is how corrupt the system was. This is how corrupt the system has always been. Okay? I mean, and I was just dumbfounded. Well, I didn't get arrested. The judge court ordered me to pay all of all $3,000 worth of merchandise, to pay the $3,000 to this rental company for merchandise I didn't even have anymore, that was stolen from me, that I had been paying extra for theft protection for. I had theft protection insurance and everything that I was paying extra for. And yet I was court ordered to pay $3,000 to this rental company for merchandise I no longer owned or had. And was not even allowed a fair trial. I wasn't even allowed to speak and defend myself. And that was my first experience and awakening to see how corrupt the system truly is. So when I heard this officer here look at Joshua Johnson and ask him, "What do you want me to do with him?" Oh, how familiar those words were, because that's exactly what the judge asked those attorneys regarding me. So, man, it just floods of memories come back to me, and I just got livid. It pisses me off so much.
I can screen charges. I'm open to screening charges through our attorney.
Yeah. Instead of serving these court papers like the police officer promised me he would, this officer would rather screen all possible charges for me to see what random stuff they can make up about me.
I'm going to go talk with him, give him his paper back, since you do not want this, correct?
Can I just peek at it?
What was that?
Can I peek at it?
It kind of puts me in a little bit of a bind.
Okay, do you guys see this situation here? Joshua Johnson said, "Can I peek at it?" The officer says, "Well, that puts me in kind of a bind." Why is that? Because if the officer officially hands Joshua Johnson the papers, at that point, those papers are legally served. But by the officer not handing him the papers and not letting Joshua Johnson even look at the papers, the officer can now go back and say, well, he didn't want the paperwork, and try to make up the BS excuses. And Joshua Johnson can later say, "I was never served any paperwork." You see how this corruption works here?
It's fake. There's no lawsuit in this.
Okay. So anyway, I'm going to give this back to him and trespasser.
Because here's the thing. Like, think about this logically. Do you think a process server would show up with a guy that's been harassing a YouTuber to serve papers in Utah?
Josh knows that if he gets served these papers, it's going to be really bad for him. And at this point, it seems like he's willing to make up any story he can to get us arrested before he gets served these papers.
They sent a lady in.
So anyway, you guys can go back and watch all of this footage yourselves. We don't have time to go into all of that in the video. Now, Reckless Ben started up a GoFundMe. Okay, he started a GoFundMe, and the officers literally took his GoFundMe poster, cut it down, and put it in their car. They stole Reckless Ben. The police stole Reckless Ben's merchandise. That was full-on theft. The police stole his sign. Thieving. Oh, the thieving bastard. It's unreal. Okay. Well, Bricks and Minifigs got with the court systems and had the court systems force the GoFundMe to be taken down. But the excuse is because it was directly linked, or because they called out Bricks and Minifigs' name in the GoFundMe. Well, I am happy to say that the GoFundMe is back up. I'm going to put the GoFundMe in the link in the comments section of this video. I'm going to put it in the section of the video so you guys can click on the link. And please, I'm going to ask you, please go subscribe to Reckless Ben. Subscribe to his Patreon. Show him some love. And donate. If you can donate, if you have anything that you can give to him to help with this fundraiser. And not just Reckless Ben. I'm going to try to get. I haven't found the link yet, but there is a Gifts and Go funding that has been started on behalf of Reckless Ben. I want to make sure it's all legit before I put it on my channel, but there is a Gifts and Go that's been started for Reckless Ben to help him personally. The fundraiser is to help Brian Menzel and his family. But Reckless Ben at this point needs a lot of help. And we're gonna listen to this. Is gonna be the last video I'm gonna play. I'm gonna share on this session here. So listen to this. This was Ben's final message. So
episode 3 is finally.
They've officially gagged him. They've officially silenced Reckless Ben. He now is not even allowed to talk and defend himself anymore. And again, it pisses me off really bad because, like I said, that's what they done to me. Is they gagged me to where I was not allowed to defend myself. And this is exactly the bullshit that they are pulling with Reckless Ben. Excuse my language, but it pisses me off royally. Okay? This is the crap that they're pulling with him, man. Listen to this.
Finished after crazy all-nighters and basically destroying my health. But I can't post it or I will go to jail. And not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000, and the GoFundMe we made for Brian will go straight to this mystery company that I am no longer allowed to talk about.
I mean, how can they legally? I can't imagine or comprehend. And of course, I'm not a judge. I'm not a defense attorney. I'm not I don't work for the justice system. But I don't understand how they can legally silence him, first of all, because that's a breach of his First Amendment rights. I mean, I understand that they're using the idea of defamation, that they're accusing him of basically defaming the name of Bricks and Figs Company. So I believe that's the excuse they're using, but how could they legally force GoFundMe to be taken down? How can they legally stop him from sharing his videos and so forth? It's an egregious breach of First Amendment rights. So I don't see how this, I don't get it.
They sent court papers to my email, which I guess a judge approved for them that this was a valid form of service.
Yeah, and that's another one. Ben was not allowed to send legitimate email court papers, legal court papers to Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best because it was not considered an official serving. But yet, they were allowed to send court papers to Reckless Ben's email. Again, the one-sided corruption. The two-tiered justice system here.
And so now that I'm officially served, I cannot even mention this company or I will be in jail and everything. Normally I would be like, screw the big guy telling me what to do. I'm going to do what's morally right. But in this situation, if I do that, then all my friends get screwed with this lawsuit, and we lose all the GoFundMe money we raised. Like,
and
immediately.
how is that? How is that? Okay, how is it that they could legally steal all of the GoFundMe or take away all of the GoFundMe, and his friends' lawsuits be taken out just by him mentioning this company that he has exposed for their corruption? You guys see how twisted this is? It's just so twisted. This is so immoral and so evil and so wrong, man.
So I am no longer allowed to even mention this mystery company. My personal opinion is that this is unfair because this order was put on me because this company was telling the court that I was making bomb threats. I was planning on murdering the manager and employees, which obviously I didn't do, and you can see that in the footage.
Where's the evidence that he was making those threats? Where's the evidence? See, again, Reckless Ben has all of his own, he has all the evidence in his defense. Joshua Johnson and Bricks and Minifigs do not have any evidence of any of the claims that they're making against Reckless Ben. But yet this corrupt justice system is going after Reckless Ben.
The only problem is I was not given a chance to share my side. The court just heard their perspective, not mine. So because I wasn't able to share my side, I am now no longer allowed to talk about them. And it looks like this might be it. So, yeah.
And that's it. So, guys, you know, this is just crazy stuff.
Ben has got some big wins
in
in the Bricks and Minifigs case, but as he's got those wins, he's also facing some huge...
Okay. Anyway, this is some crazy stuff going on here. Like I've said multiple times throughout this video, I've been following this case, and it's just had me completely livid. And but at the same time, I hate that this is going on for Reckless Ben, that they're going after him like this, and we need to really defend him. We need to share these videos across. We need to show this corrupt system that they are not going to silence us. They are not going to shut us down. We are going to continue to expose their evil, their disgusting, thieving corruption. And we need to show them that Reckless Ben is not, and we need to show Reckless Ben that he's not alone, that we are all here for him, and we are all standing against this corruption. We've got to stand up and defend Reckless Ben by whatever means we can. I mean, I'm not talking about going into violence. I don't want violence. No violence, guys. I'm talking about continuing to share these videos, continuing to do videos. Guys, listen to all of the podcasters. Listen to everyone. Go through and just stream all of these videos and support all of these people that are reporting on this, and share all of their videos. Let's get this story far and wide. We need this story to go to Kash Patel. We need this story to go to the Department of Justice. We need this story going all the way back to President Trump, if necessary. Okay? This needs to be brought to the highest levels of the federal government. It doesn't need to stay within the small forms of Utah. Okay, within the small system of Utah. This needs to be taken to the highest courts. Period. I mean, that's bottom line. So anyway, I had another one that I wanted to share with you guys, but I think we might just do another video on that, because this video's already gotten kind of long. So anyway, I'm going to, here is his GoFundMe. It's back up again. As you guys can see, his GoFundMe is back up. But if you look, there's been a change on his GoFundMe. says Brian and his 83-year-old father spent the last decade building an incredible Lego Star Wars collection together. Their shared passion resulted in about 780 sets, more than 1,200 figures, with the hope that one day selling the collection could pay for their grandchildren's college. Last year, Brian consigned the entire collection to a mystery company. So you can see here how he had to remove the name of Bricks and Minifigs and change it to Mystery Company in order to get the GoFundMe, in order to have the GoFundMe put back up. Because he's now been gagged and he's no longer allowed to mention this mystery company, the name of this mystery company. I mean, the corruption, you can't, this is as deep a corruption. I mean, this is, the corruption is just unfathomable. It's unreal. So I'm going to put the link for this in the description section in this video, guys. So click on that link and let's show some love for Brian Menzel and his family. But also, I'm going to try to find the links for the gifts and goes that have been started for Reckless Ben himself to help Reckless Ben with all of these legal charges that he's facing right now from this corruption, so that he can hopefully at least get a fair defense. And be able to afford some really, really good defense lawyers, man. We've got to get him some serious help, guys. We've really got to get him some serious help. Because, again, this goes beyond just some stolen Legos at this point. We need to show these corrupt and evil corporations that they can no longer get away with this crap. They cannot continue to do people like this. They cannot, and we need to show the justice system that we're sick of their corruption and the justice system going after the little man and defending the people with money. Okay? Bottom line, I mean, I've tried so hard over my lifetime throughout the years to back the blue. But I got to tell you guys, I have not been given a good enough reason to continue to back the blue. In fact, I've been given reason after reason after reason over and over again why we should not back the blue. I know that's going to piss a lot of you conservatives off. If any of you conservatives listen to this channel, I am MAGA all the way. But just because I am MAGA, just because I support President Trump, does not mean that I agree with everything that Trump says or everything that the Trump's administration does. I don't. When President Trump is constantly lifting the police department and trying to give them more power and authority, I don't agree with that, and I don't like that. I do not like that at all, because they have way too much authority and power already. Now, am I anti-cop? No, I'm not anti-cop. I'm not against the police. We have to have policing in our streets to keep law and order. But the police need to be legit, not corrupt. And this is absolute corruption to the core. Period. It's just straight up. It's absolute corruption. It's no question about it, man. And I've seen this corruption over and over again. Like whenever Reckless Ben and his team were pulled over by the cop, but they claimed that he run the stop sign, when you can clearly see that they stopped. They came to a full stop before moving forward. They did not run a stop sign. Now, then afterwards, when they were called out because the video footage showed that they stopped, that they came to a full stop, then they said, well, you stopped on the other side of the line. So that's their BS excuse they used, when we know that was not the reason why they pulled them over. That was a BS excuse just to harass them. Because the moment that once they had them stopped and they said, oh, you ran a stop sign, then they looked, and then one of the officers looked and said, which one of you has been? So they already knew who they were looking for. They were already looking for Ben. They just needed a BS excuse to pull them over so that they can harass Ben. I mean, that's it, It's so obvious. It's so grotesque and in your face and disgusting. And see, and again, I've had these situations myself. I've run into these type of situations. I was driving one day on the road on driving in the 35-mile zone. I was pacing behind a school bus. I was pacing behind a school bus. Okay? A good following distance, mind you. I wasn't riding the school bus's bumper. I was a good safe. I was probably about 2 car lengths behind the school bus. When I got pulled over, when I saw the blue lights, I was like, what in the crap are they blue lighting me for? And I look at my speedometer, and I was going 37 in the 35. Okay? I was 2 miles over the speed limit. This officer pulls me over, and of course, the traditional, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, no. No, sir, not really. Well, you were going 56 in the 35. Like, what? 56 in the 30? Ow, my jaw just hit the freaking, my jaw just dropped. I was dumbfounded. 56 in the 35? I was going 37. Are you kidding me? And I looked at the officer politely and I said, sir, with all due respect, I said, I was not going 56 in the 35. I said, I was only going 37 mile an hour. He said, well, I got you on my radar. I radared you at going 56 in the 35. I said, well, sir, may I see the radar? And he said, I don't have to show you anything. I said, but officer, I was not going 56 and 35. I said, I was going 37. I said, so I'm guilty of going 2 miles over the speed limit, but I was not going 56 and the 35. And so, well, anyway, long story short, he gave me a citation for going 56 in the 35. Completely lying. Lied through his teeth. And I told him, I said, officer, this is completely false. This is wrong. And I am going to fight this in court. And his comments to me was, I'll be there with bells and whistles on. Right? Well, I get to the court, and I'm standing before the judge. The officer does not show up to the court hearing, which by law at that point, the case should have been automatically dismissed because the officer never showed. Right there immediately that should have been dismissed because the officer did not show up. So they should have dismissed that whole case. The citation should have been dropped right there. But nope. What did the judge do? Let me tell you what this crooked judge done. Okay? This judge looks at me and asks me this question. Guilty or not guilty? I'm like, but Your Honor, can I explain the situation? Guilty or not guilty? I said, but Your Honor, guilty or not guilty? And he yells at me. Well, this puts me in a peculiar situation because here's the problem. Okay? I had to miss a whole day's work just to go to court. Right? So if I plead not guilty, here's what would happen. If I plead not guilty, then the judge would set up a second court hearing, and then I would, at that point, have to stand before the judge again, missing a whole nother day's work. Okay? Just to defend myself. And, well, if I had to miss a second day's work, it would have costed me more money at that point than what the citation was going to cost me. So it would cost me, so it was cheaper for me to just plead guilty, even though I was innocent, They put me in a corner to where it was cheaper for me to just plead guilty and pay the flipping citation and take the points on my license than to miss 2 days of work back to back. And the system is rigged like this. This is how they rig the systems. They set this stuff up like this just to screw us over. This is how corrupt the justice system is. And then, I mean, I could go on and on about different stories about how I've had officers completely just harass me and lie through their teeth, just straight up harassment, and just be lying through their teeth. I mean, I've had multiple situations like this, and I have a clean criminal record. I don't have a criminal record. I've got a clean record, right? I haven't committed any crimes like that. I've always strove to keep my record clean. But I'm gonna tell you that the corruption runs so deep in the justice system that even when you have a clean record, you're not safe from these tyrants. So when people sit here and say, well, if you just keep your nose clean, you don't do anything wrong, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. BS. BS. Because they can make up any excuse, any bullcrap excuse they want to pull you over and harass you. They can lie and give you citations and cost you money and steal money out of your pocket. Stealing money from your families, that money that could have went on your bills, money that could have bought groceries for your family and your children, stealing that money from you. They can lie and steal your money legally when you've done no wrong. So all these people that come out and say, well, if you don't do anything wrong, they won't bother you. Bull crap. I can tell you it's bull crap. You know, they don't have a problem citating us for bullcrap charges, but yet, like I had, there was one time, quite some years back, I had about a couple $1,000s worth of Snap-on tools, and if you know anything about tools and Snap-on, those are really expensive tools. Okay, I had a whole stand-up toolbox full of Snap-on tools. It was close to $2,000 worth of tools. And someone broke in, or actually, I think it was closer to $3,000. I don't remember now. It's been some years. But I went on vacation. I come back and someone had broken into my house and stolen my tools. Okay? I called the police. I make a police report. I figured I was wasting my time. And sure enough, I was completely correct, because the cops won't do anything. They won't do nothing. I call them up. They take notes, ask me what was stolen. They take notes on what was stolen, and then they leave. I was like, hey man, are you guys going to fingerprint? I mean, I could pretty much tell you where they would have come in at. I know my house, so I know where they would have come. I knew where they come in at. I can tell which window they climbed through to get into my house to steal my stuff. I already knew it. But these sorry behind cops wouldn't even fingerprint. They wouldn't do any fingerprints. I already had suspicions on who probably done it. But they wouldn't even take fingerprints. Right? They wouldn't even fingerprint anything. They wouldn't do any investigation into it. They just said, well, we've got it down. If anything comes up, we'll let you know. And that's the end of it. They won't do anything. Now, if I were rich and were living in a $1 million mansion, dude, they would have had dogs out. They would have had they would have taken fingerprints. They would have been going through all these different mugshots. They would have been looking in the system to match the fingerprints up with people with previous records. I mean, but because I'm not a rich man, they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't do anything. They done nothing. I never saw those tools again. They were gone. All this hard work and all the time I spent building up my tool collection, my tool set, thousands of dollars gone down the drain, and the cops wouldn't do anything about it. But they don't have a problem harassing you on the street if you're on the open highway. If you're driving down an open highway, a straight open highway, and say the speed limit is 65 and you're going 75, and you're not swerving, you're not tailgating people, you're not doing anything to endanger the public, they don't have a freaking problem pulling you over for going 10 miles over the speed limit on an open freaking highway. But God forbid if someone breaks into your house and steals your stuff, they actually help you. They actually do something good for a freaking change. You see how this gets me riled up? The justice system is so corrupt. It's so evil. It's so manipulative. It's so corrupt. They're in for the rich. They're in for the corporations. And to hell with the little guy. To hell with you if you don't have enough money to spend. Right? If you're not rich, if you're not wealthy, if you're not loaded with cash, to hell with you. That's the way they think. That's the way this system is. And it's sad and it's evil and it's demonic. And it needs to be shut down and it needs to be rebuilt from the ground up, man. The entire justice system needs to be completely rebuilt. Anyway, I've ranted on enough, guys. I'm going to call it on this one here. I've kept you guys enough. If you've listened to this till the end, I want to thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel, share this video. Let's get the word out here. We've got to expose this corrupt system. And Reckless Ben, I don't know if you'll ever see this video or not, buddy, but my prayers are with you. I'm going to be donating to your defense myself personally. And I'm going to be sending donations to do everything I can to help out, man, because you need a good defense lawyer. You have to win this case, Ben. Ben, listen, buddy. Dude, you have got to win this case, man. No, it's not just about you and your freedom, even though it is, because I want to see you set free because you don't deserve this crap. But you've got to win this case for everybody. You've got to win this case for America. You've got to win this case for all of the little guys, man. This is beyond just a Lego case. This is about the corrupt system going after those who are exposing their corruption. And going after those who do not have the funding or the financial backing to fight against them. That's what this really boils down to. This is not just about, some YouTuber against a small little franchise or what have you. This is so much bigger, man. And Ben, you've got to win this case, brother. Okay, we're gonna be out here doing everything we can to get you some money to raise up enough funds for you to hire the best possible lawyers or attorneys to fight these cases, to fight these charges. And we need you to win this, bud. Okay? Keep your head up. Stay on top of it. We're here and we're going to do everything we can on our end out here as creators to continue to expose this garbage. And we want to see these people go down. I want to see them go down hard, man. I want to see them go down hard because this is absolute bull. Anyway, check out the comment section again, guys. Go to the GoFundMe. I'm going to do another video a little later on after I find some legitimate donation gifts and goes for Reckless Ben himself. Donate by all means. Help them finish raising up the money for Brian and his family. By all means, But right now, Reckless Ben really, really needs our support. Let's do all that we can, guys, to support Reckless Ben, man. And let's show these evil, corrupt bastards that we're not taking this anymore. We're done with it. This is more than just Reckless Ben. This is about all of us. This is about all of us. This is about a corrupt system and showing this corrupt system that we're sick of the corruption. This is Reality Check, Truth Unveiled. and I'm out.